Top story, people across the nation are still reacting to the death of longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. According to the medical examiner of the District of Columbia, preliminary findings show Graham died of aortic dissection or a tear in the inner layer of the aorta. While Senator Graham spent decades on the national stage, many in his own hometown of Central say they never stopped seeing him as one of their own. Julia Keener from our sister station in Spartanburg spent the day there with those who perhaps knew the senator best.
For those who knew Lindsey Graham before the campaigns and the national spotlight, Sunday's loss hits close to home. Neighbors, friends, and community members in Central say they're not just remembering the senator, but the hometown kid who never forgot where he came from.
He's going to be remembered for years. I mean, it's a big loss.
He's done it all and accomplished a lot.
From Washington to West Main Street in the town of Central, tributes have been pouring in.
He was welcome here, always.
But here where Lindsey Graham was raised, the memories aren't about politics. They're about the boy who grew up in this small town.
It was always Lindsey that was there watching over us, playing as kids.
After losing both of his parents as a young man, Graham took legal guardianship of his younger sister, Darlene. Friends say that responsibility revealed the character they would see throughout his life.
Seeing him do all that was amazing. This is a small town, and he was on the world stage, and that was very, very enlightening. We respected him. We could always say, "Hey, Lindsey," and he would speak back.
Town leaders say no matter how far Graham's career took him, he never lost touch with the town that raised him.
Always remembered us, always thought about us. Yes, he was a good friend to this town.
Just having him around, he put Central on the map. Just being the mayor of the hometown of Lindsey Graham was a great honor.
They also remember the day Graham launched his presidential campaign right outside of his childhood home. A moment they say put their little town in the national spotlight.
That was a big event. That's probably the biggest event we've ever had downtown Central. More TV cameras and networks than you would ever believe.
And whether he was back for a fundraiser or just waiting in line for lunch in a t-shirt and ball cap, they say he never stopped being just Lindsey.
I think that was a great attraction for people, was that he never forgot where he came from and that he was proud of where he came from.
That was refreshing to us, that he didn't change. He was always Lindsey.
And years ago, Graham told 7 News that no matter where life took him,
this is home. This always will be home. When my time is up, I will come back to the upstate of South Carolina.
Now the hometown he always cherished is saying goodbye.
He's going to be missed. He was well thought of in South Carolina.
Town leaders tell us they're already discussing ways to honor Graham's legacy here in Central. Reporting in Pickens County, I'm Julia Keener.
Local lawmakers sharing their reaction to the passing of Senator Graham. South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace releasing a statement saying, in part, South Carolina lost a giant last night. We did not always agree, but no one ever questioned his love for South Carolina or the fight he brought into every room he walked into, end quote. And Georgia Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff sending condolences to Graham's family and staff. He says, in part, Senator Graham dedicated his life to the United States, from his service in the U.S. Air Force to his representation of the state of South Carolina in the U.S. House and Senate. Lindsey was an energetic leader who loved South Carolina. Continuing coverage, WSAV is working to confirm the status of a search of a missing person after a boat overturned near the north end of Tybee Island Saturday morning. Rescue officials received the initial call just after 8:30 yesterday morning. 3 people were reported to have been on board. 2 of them have been rescued. Tybee Island Fire Rescue began rescue efforts alongside the U.S. Coast Guard, Marine Rescue Squadron, and the Chatham Marine Patrol on the island's north end, just beyond the jetties. It's not yet clear what caused the boat to overturn or the status of the 2 people rescued. Taking a live look outside now, let's check in with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Scott Roberts for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we can see some gray skies out there over downtown Savannah, some strong wind gusts as well. There are some storms that have been developing over the past few hours. A lot of lightning, especially down to our south, coastal Liberty County and into McIntosh County, Bryan County dealing with that. But we did have a severe warning cell over coastal Beaufort County. This is drifting toward the coast, starting to weaken as it moves off to the east, but certainly producing a lot of heavy rain, and it was producing a lot of lightning as well as it was sliding through the area there across St. Helena Island and Fripp Island right now with that heaviest rain. But again, starting to weaken right now. The strongest cell is now developing a little bit further to the south with a lot of lightning over coastal Liberty County along and just to the east of I-95, but down toward McIntosh County. Certainly a lot of heavy rain right along the interstate. And we do have that risk for some strong and severe storms as we do head into at least the early evening hours, all feeding off of the intense heat that we've been experiencing for the past few days. Today making it to 98 degrees after making it into the triple digits the previous 3 days. But as we do head into our Sunday evening, a few more showers, a few more thunderstorms are possible along with that severe weather risk. But as we go into the overnight hours, as conditions start to cool off, we will begin to see that risk diminish a bit, but more storms are expected for Monday afternoon and into Tuesday. And again, we will have the risk for a few strong and severe storms. We'll have all the details hour by hour coming up in just a few moments. Isley?
All right, thank you, Scott. McIntosh County leaders are taking the next step in rewriting the zoning ordinance for a hog hammock on Sepulveda Island. Commissioner Roger Lotson says the board revised the proposed ordinance to allow homes in hog hammock to have a maximum of 1,550 square feet under roof. That's larger than the current 1,400 square foot limit, but it's far below the 3,000 square foot cap approved by county leaders in 2023. Voters later overturned that ordinance in a referendum, prompting county leaders to draft a new proposal. That earlier ordinance sparked opposition from many members of the historic Gullah Geechee community, who said larger homes could change the character of the island and increase property taxes. The revised ordinance has now been sent to the McIntosh County Zoning Board, which will hold a public hearing on August 4th before making any recommendations. You may notice more police officers patrolling highways this week as a coordinated speed enforcement operation is set to return for its 9th year. Operation Southern Slowdown brings together law enforcement agencies in Georgia, South Carolina, and other nearby states for a week of education and enforcement. Officers will focus patrols on interstates and major highways, watching for drivers who are speeding and driving aggressively in an effort to encourage drivers to slow down before a crash happens.